Just say it, man. Don't make me ask 20 questions.
What is the point?
Get to the point.
Just say it already.
Welcome to the Podcram. Despite not being the CEO of anything, Tim Dillon recently went on the Diary of a CEO podcast and provided entertaining comedy on the state of our country and its future.
Well, we've given up on the children. The future is not the children. The children are no longer the future. The future is AI. The future is robotics. We're very clear on that. We don't even talk about the children anymore. We talk mainly about AI. No one's even said anything about the children in months, years, really. We've given up on the children. They're dead-eyed little monsters. They're running around killing each other. We can't deal with it. It's very traumatic. I've even stopped thinking about what they're doing because it's crazy. I'm more excited about AI than the children, just like anyone else. Who's reviving the economy of San Francisco? The children? No, AI. So AI's next. We don't know what we're going to do with the children. Build prisons. That's what I say for children. They're crazy. They're being raised by algorithms. They're all on fentanyl. They're all on drugs. They're all running around trying to kill each other and record it.
I couldn't quite believe it because the image we all have of California as Brits is this beautiful, clean...
Lies. Hollywood, lies.
That's what we've seen on our TV.
There are some beautiful parts of this state that are incredibly stunning, but the people are hollow. They're empty. They don't exist. All the people you meet in LA are figments of your imagination. They're fractals. They're not real. You didn't meet them. They are an entity of which they go between worlds, but they're not physically in reality the way that you are or I am. So keep that in mind as you're navigating the city, that the people, many of them that you're seeing, some of them are attractive and whatever, but they actually don't meaningfully exist in any way that you would understand.
There's quite actually, as you say that, there's a thin line between the two polar sides of LA, the extreme like wealth and then the extreme poverty. There's like a thin line psychologically between...
Most of LA is people waiting for instructions. That's what it is. Now, because everybody here is on the chopping block, from the CEO of Paramount to a busboy who's trying to get a showcase, to get a spot at the Hollywood Improv, or maybe he wants to be an actor, whatever. Everybody in this town is replaceable. Everybody feels that. So everybody's waiting for instructions. Nobody wants to act. Everybody's waiting for somebody else to let them know it's okay, because that is how the town works. And people tend to wait for a consensus to build before they do something. You know, again, they don't believe anything. The town is not a town of people who believe things. They sit in their house. They're sitting, you look at these houses in Beverly Hills or wherever you are in Malibu. They're just sitting like this. They're very still. And they don't, and then they go out, the trainer works them out, they go back and they sit and they stare. And they're waiting for instruction. They're waiting for the phone call. They're waiting for an email. They're waiting to be told what to believe and who to believe in. And what reality is the reality of today. Are fat women in? Great. Get them on. Get a bunch of women in this on oxygen machines. What are we in today? Are we doing something else? Tomorrow, are we back to hot people? Get them. They're waiting for instructions. They have no beliefs. They are empty. They're hollow. They are vessels. But it is pretty, and the tacos are good.
And you said at the start of this that it's bad advice that you can do anything and be anything. But to us, that's always been like the American dream, is you come here and then you can do anything and be anything. That's what we see as the American dream in the UK, like the land of possibilities. You can become anyone and you rise to the top.
Well, yes, we market that quite well. Telling them that they can just be anything they want to be, it's such a deeper conversation, and it's a catchphrase. It's a license plate. It's something to put on a shirt. It's a bumper sticker. It's not a philosophy for life, because there's a lot more. What we mean when we say you can be whatever you want in America is you can make as much money as you want. That's what we're really saying. We're really pushing this idea that the only route to happiness is this upwardly mobile vertical where you have to grab everything and be a boss and be an entrepreneur and run an empire, and that's the way to happiness. That's not the way to happiness. That's what we're pushing. We're not telling everybody they can be anything they want to be so that we have a lot of challenges to like our ideas and stuff. We're not looking for that type of feedback. We just want people going out and working themselves to death. That's what we really want. When we say that you can be anything you want to be, The translation is, work yourself to death, I'm going on my boat.
But this younger generation aren't apparently working themselves to death. If you observe things like TikTok, where they're having like the mocha chocolate frappa lattes and doing the yoga and the working at the big tech company and quiet quitting and all that.
Some of them have figured out that the country's a scam. And here's the good news. They're not wrong. And when you figured out the country's a scam, you can approach it the way a con artist or a scammer would approach it, which is what a lot of them do. They invent mental health ailments they don't have. They take days off on end. They terrify their superiors into respecting their mediocre, shoddy quality of work. This is something that Gen Z has latched onto. This is something that I fully support. This is their way of rising through the ranks. They're taking advantage of people that they work with, and making them tolerate less and less work and work of a lower and lower quality, because they've realized that a lot of this is bullshit. So they're like, why shouldn't I get in on it?
And there's obviously the remote working now as well. That's a big thing post-pandemic, which is...
Absolutely. We've realized over the pandemic, I think a lot of people, that a lot of the things that we thought were guarantees aren't, and a lot of the things we tended to believe in fervently, we at the very least right now question. I think young people are like, why in the hell should I spend 40 hours doing a job I hate when I can pretend to do it and threaten my boss if they try to fire me, and fake a mental illness that I don't have and demand everybody conform to what I want, and then use whatever diversity chips I have to go out and throw a scare into anyone that tries to call me to account for any of my behavior. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's very interesting. It's really destabilizing a lot of society. Now, obviously, the sane thing is to shut those people up and say, shut up. You have to do these things or get out. But nobody's going to do that. They found the flaw in the system. They've kind of exposed the scam. And once the scam is exposed, it's for all to be seen. And now everybody can kind of just approach it the way it is. Everybody now is kind of like, even big companies, everybody's like in it for themselves and just trying to figure out like, how do I get the most? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the most American thing ever, right? Is to try to get something for yourself. There shouldn't be any hate for that. It's a bit silly, ridiculous, and crazy how they do it, but they're only taking the tools that you've given to them and that you've allowed them to use, right? Mm-hmm. So they use these things,
Smart.
They go, why are you late today? They go, I'm gay. You go, don't worry about it. Like what it's the most American thing ever to use the playbook that someone hands you and goes, here's the playbook. And you go, great. I have anxiety. You keep coming into my physical space. It's great words. You keep coming into my physical space. You're using volume right now. I have anxiety. I need time right now. This report is not ready, but I need time right now. And what I need right now is just to be a little quiet. So it's great. I mean, I'm for it.
I've interviewed a lot of people about AI, at the very top of these AI companies. When I knew you were coming today, I thought, this is the guy I need to ask about the future of AI. Because as it relates to that generation, the thing that's going to disrupt them, but also many other generations, is the advent of superintelligence, where that report can be done by some kind of robot or AI. So you must have a pretty, informed view about artificial intelligence.
We have AI influencers now that are actually, because we've bred in this country some of the least interesting people on the planet, and some of the most interesting. But some of the least interesting people, the most generic people, are making millions and millions of dollars, essentially just hawking products on the internet. That's all they do. They go, someone asked me about my skincare routine, and I thought I would share something with you guys. I'd share a promo code with you guys, because a lot of people come up to me and they go, your skin is really glistening. It looks really good. So I'm really excited to share this promo. And so those people don't need to exist. In fact, they really don't. They don't exist as human beings. So they need to be just replaced by a pixelated version of that, an AI version of that. Now going from Robert De Niro to AI, that's going to be a thing. Going from Tina Turner to AI, that's a big deal. Going from these people, these generic barcodes with feet, these promo codes, going from them to AI is going to be literally unnoticeable. Let it happen.
I saw an AI influencer the other day that had 200,000 followers. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And there's some with millions. There's that Lynn AI influencer that's got millions and millions. And I was thinking, gee, and then the crazy thing was the comment section of like these men that were genuinely messaging this AI influencer.
Very healthy men. Yes. Genuinely. Yes.
If you play this forward, you talked about robotics earlier. AI, robotics, people are getting lonelier than ever. It seems like a lot of people in the future are going to be dating these AI sex robots.
That might be where I finally find someone that respects my autonomy and respects me, and it might be someone I like. I mean, I'm very open to that, to dating kind of an AI.
Really?
Well, I mean, you never say never. You never say never. I mean, humans are over. We've had a run. It's ending. It's all around us. That's why I mean the whole thing about the children, no one cares. Politicians used to talk endlessly about children and families. Now the only reason children come up is if they're using a bathroom and it's a gender thing. Other than that, no one cares. No one cares. They're only a battering ram about like a cultural conversation or whatever. It has nothing to do with like, are they being educated? Are they going to have any money? Can they own anything ever? And you know, all these companies that own everything now and they have excluded people, have locked people out of owning them, the BlackRocks, things like that. Basically, they're just like the internet's your home now. That's your home. You can't own a house. You can't own anything, but you own your avatar. You can date someone who's AI. You can have any comment on anything you want. If something comes out and you don't like it, you can type about it. You'll never own a thing. You'll never own a house. You'll never own a car. You'll never have any money. The best parts of the world will be colonized by the super rich. The rest will be ravaged by climate change. The good news is you can close the door to your little pod, talk to your AI influencer and have an opinion, but it won't change anything and it won't matter because you'll be living in this world that we've created for you to feel like you have a purpose. But we've robbed you of all of the things that you could say that are yours. And everything that is yours, even your own thoughts, we now own. Even your locations are digital. The way where you park your memories are digital. We own all of that. We've taken everything from you. The physical dimension of your life, we've just completely removed it. We've let the cities you used to love get invaded with hordes of drug addicts, and you're scared to leave your home. And isn't that great? Because you don't really need to leave your home anyway. So after we've taken all of this from you, we're going to give you a nice AI influencer to date. So am I optimistic about the future? The answer is yes. It's going to be beautiful. I think that dividing the world into interest groups and having them only be interest groups and, giving our humanity away to this idea that we should all be pitted against each other, whether it's men and women, whether it's different races, whether it's different religions. At the end of the day, it all feeds the same type of isolation that you're seeing now, right? It feeds that. It is an ideology that is not about building anything. It's not about constructing something. It's about tearing something apart. So I think we have to stop pitting people against each other and stop, tearing everything apart and start to build things based on values. And the values cannot be just this rampant tribalism of you're a man, you're straight, you're gay, you're white, you're black, you're indigenous, I think we have to build it on values. Like, what do we believe? What do we believe? And then you should be around like-minded people who believe the things you believe in. They all don't have to be the same thing. America is a very big country. The people that live in Malibu, California don't believe the same things. The people that live in Louisiana, that's okay. We're all going to die if we keep trying to convince each other to think the way other people think. There is not a bigger waste of time on this planet than for me to go to people and convince them to have the same thoughts I'm having and the same experience on this planet that I am having. The way forward is to respect people's differences and to create a world where different people can thrive.
Thanks for listening to this installment of The Podgram. I hope it contains something useful for you. If you enjoy these selections and are curious about the curator's own thoughts, you can check out my other podcast, Psychic Lube, where I share concise concepts meant to grease the intellectual gears and help get your creative juices flowing. Each episode is an ongoing collaborative project that welcomes listeners to expand or rebut its points by email or comment, the most interesting of which get incorporated through periodic re-recordings. As always, if you're intrigued by today's content, I encourage you to go listen to the full podcast in its original form directly from its creators so that their sponsors keep paying them to make stuff for us and nobody feels compelled to sue me for copyright infringement. Now, get off your phone and go do smart stuff. Have a productive day.